Hey, welcome to the Keep It Cute Show. I'm Dakia.
And I'm Sabrina. Welcome back.
Yes.
Today we have an interesting topic to discuss with you. We are going to talk about being women with no children.
Women of a particular age.
Women of a particular age. Let me say, should we say middle-aged? Are we middle-aged? Are we willing to admit that? I don't know. Are we? Okay, yeah. Middle-aged women with no children.
Wow.
Okay, middle-aged. And some of the advantages and disadvantages of that, and the impact that it has on our lifestyles, our well-being, all of that. So we're gonna talk about that. And I think we called this, there's a certain level of childless freedom.
A childless freedom episode. So yes, like she said, we are women of a particular age that don't have children in the traditional sense. I mean, we don't have our own biological children, but we both have godchildren. She has niece. I have nephews through my husband, and I have the kids that I mentor. So we don't have biological kids,
right?
But we definitely have kids in our lives. But having that,
who we are invested in, and who we are
nieces, nephews, mentees, godchildren. But we don't have our own biological children.
We do not.
So we're going to talk about, like she said, the impacts on our lives and our children in our future.
Right. I think for me, one of the things that I would probably start by saying is that I did not think that I would be nearly 40 without children.
Same.
Like this was not the plan. This is not what I thought was going to happen. I think that I just assumed that somewhere along the way I was going to get pregnant and just have a baby by now. I just assumed that was going to happen. I was never necessarily worried about children or worried about starting a family. I just figured like it's going to happen when it's supposed to happen. It started to become more of an issue in my first marriage, right? Because we were like trying and stuff like that for a baby and struggling a bit in that sense. But then I think I became more conscious of it when I hit 35, right? Because as women,
geriatric
that's
pregnancy.
the age that you go over the hill and you become a geriatric pregnancy.
Crazy. Over the hill at 35.
Right. And I remember kind of having my own little like meltdown, of like, oh my God, because at 35 I was also recently single, right? I was divorced by that point. And so I was like, I'm recently single and now every pregnancy is going to be a geriatric. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you feel like, it's like that reality check of like my life is not where I thought it would be in some of these senses. But then I also had to say like, who said it has to be like that?
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And so I did not plan for it to be this way, but now that I'm here, I can't lie. There's elements of my life that I love. I love, being able to wake up and curate my day in the way that I want it to be done. You know what I'm saying? Like my lifestyle, being able to participate in this podcast. I can do these things by my own free will because I don't have anything else to really consider other than, my partner who's busy as well. So, it's nice.
Yeah, I agree. I lived a similar life. Like I never saw myself not having kids. I always saw myself having a little mini me and taking her to the dance studio or having a son and going to like the games and everything like that. So I saw myself as a mom, but I always saw myself as a wife first. Like being a wife was a priority over being a mom. I wanted it to be in that order. So I was very careful to ensure that I was not going to have a baby before I got married. And then I was engaged at 34 and thought that we had planned on having a honeymoon baby. Like we were like, nope, we're going to have a honeymoon baby. Like we're going to get it started as soon as we get married. That engagement clearly fell through and I canceled the wedding 3 weeks before. And then I turned 35. Same thing. I'm geriatric pregnancy. I'm recently single at 35. So I actually started the process to freeze my eggs.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I started. It took a couple years. So I didn't start until like I was around 37. I had to mourn the relationship and the engagement ending. Yeah. And then I was like, no, I want to try this around 36, 37. I started the process to freeze my eggs. But then maybe it was a little later than that. But I started the process and then the pandemic happened. And so I saw, okay, this is going to sound so bad, but I'm just going to keep it real while keeping it cute. But I saw all of my friends that had kids during the pandemic, like struggling.
Yeah, because they had them
all the time,
all day, all night.
These Bamas don't go to school. Like, they, no shade. I mean, kids are amazing. I like I said, I always wanted kids. But in that time, it was like, Maybe I don't, because I was considering just having kids on my own at that point. When my engagement ended, I was like, you know what?
I have a friend like that.
Yeah, maybe I just need to do this myself. You know, maybe the marriage is not for me. Maybe that's not going to happen. But then when I saw everybody struggling in the pandemic, I was like, maybe I'm going to wait for the husband like I said I was going to.
Yeah.
So, and then after that, you know, we get on the show and everything. And then now I'm married. But as time has gone on, I'm 42 now. Like I said, being a wife was a priority for me more than having kids. And now at 42, I can't see myself changing my lifestyle. I feel like I'm a little...
That's scary. That idea is scary. It is scary. Because like I said, I like being able to wake up and doing what I want to do.
And not waking up in the middle of the night.
Yes.
I'm tired.
And waking up at 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
Instead of like 5 a.m. You say like
1 a.m., 3 a.m., 5 a.m., 7 a.m.
Yeah, like I can't lie.
Those.
Like a part of me is like, ooh, this feels good. Sleeping, it feels good. Yeah. Another thing that I would note that I'm glad that you said that you wanted to be a wife before you wanted to be a mother. And I definitely felt like that as well. Like, I never wanted to be a baby mama. I'm obviously like, if it happens, it happens, and blah, blah, blah. But like, for me, I was like, I definitely wanted to be with someone who I feel like we can start a family. This is not just like a oops baby. I know what I'm saying? I think that was a huge thing for me. I think another huge thing for me was wanting to feel like I was at a place in my career
stable
to where like I could really support a child. That was something that also caused me to like kind of wait. Even when I was in serious relationships and stuff like that, I was like, yeah, like I don't want to have a baby right away. I remember getting married and being like, yeah, I'm not ready yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm in like my late 20s because I got married pretty young. I'm in my late 20s and I'm like, I still need to feel like I'm on some type of career trajectory.
Yeah.
And right now I still feel like I'm doing like these gigs and I'm doing these things and I don't really have that like foundation that like that you would want to have, you know, for a whole new life that you're... And I know people say, oh, there's never a good time and there's never the ideal time. And I was like, I'm sure that's the case, but there's a time when you know, like, I can't afford no baby right now.
Exactly.
And like, me and my ex were like, we were relatively young when we like got married. And so it was like, we were doing all right, but I couldn't imagine, it was going to be a strain to have another mouth to feed with childcare costs alone.
Yes.
Like that alone, because we both didn't live near our family. So that would have been like, we're paying for things that other people can call their mother-in-law, their mom over. We've been paying for all of that.
And childcare is like a college tuition right now. Like people are paying.
Crazy.
I think I just saw a post recently that childcare is like $38,000 a year.
It's insane.
A year. Like that's more than I paid per year for my college tuition.
And people still have to pay that even when they work remotely because they need someone to watch their child while they're on Zoom meetings all day. It's not like it's something that like they can do part-time because, you know, they're in the house 3 days a week. No, like they still need that childcare even if they are home.
In my 20s, my career was my like focus. Like I opened my dance studio when I was 25. So I was very focused on building that career as well as my engineering career. So I knew that I wanted to make sure that I was married before I had kids because I needed help. You know, I didn't want to be a single mom. I grew up in it's no secret. I grew up in the hood. I grew up in Southeast DC and we didn't come from a place of means, you know what I mean? So I knew that when I did have kids, I wanted to be able to have them go to dance classes and private schools and things like that and not be able to, not have to stress over money. And my hat's off to single moms that are able to do it, but it was a lifestyle that I knew I would not be good at because I knew that my career still meant a lot to me and I wanted to have that help and that family support of having a husband.
Absolutely.
And like you said, like it's just so many other things. I enjoy traveling. So I like to be able...
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, there's been times when I woke up on a Wednesday and was like, I think I want to go to Puerto Rico this weekend. And I book a flight and leave the next day to go to Puerto Rico. You can't do that.
Yeah, there's been times when I've like, traveled abroad for weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For weeks.
Take a sabbatical.
Yeah, I was like, and I just, those are things that probably would have been not impossible, but much more complicated and costly had I, had a child at the time. So I'm not going to make it seem like I couldn't do those things. I just don't think it would have been likely. You know what I mean?
Or as often.
Or exactly. So I was like, so the travel piece is another piece that I feel like has been probably the best part, because I feel like I do have that flexibility to be like, yeah, let's go, girl. You want to go? Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's definitely been a piece of it.
For you, what do you see as challenges or difficulties, though? Like, we talk about the benefits. We have the freedom. We have be able to sleep in, the ability to travel.
We got the income because we put in those hours, girl.
Yeah. But what has been the challenges, or have there been any challenges that you see of not having kids at this age?
I feel like I'm missing out. Especially the more time that I spend with my niece, who's 2, about to be 3.
And it's just so cute.
You know, and it's just like seeing the world through like a baby or toddler's eyes. It's just so beautiful and so much fun. You know what I'm saying? And it's in a way that, like, I've obviously have known babies, and I have, like, you know, friends and stuff like that who've had children. But when you see someone just so close to you, like your niece, who looks like you and your family, it's just like, wow. Like, you start to wonder, what would my kid look like? What would those? And I think so. I feel like I've missed out on some of those things. I also feel like there's a mommy network. Like, when you become a mom, there's like a network of people who like who reach out to you, who you kind of, I don't have that same, you know, relationship with those women because I don't share motherhood with them. So I feel like there's a network piece there too, that I feel like, oh, I'm not plugged in, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that feels like it as well. I think the difficult part, because I still want children, I'm still like hopeful that will happen. I think the difficult part is feeling like my window is closing. Because, you know, as women, you are, unfortunately, you have a biological, you know, time clock. Even though Janet Jackson,
she froze her eggs,
and
like, if you freeze
Kenya Moore too.
Yeah, if you freeze your eggs young, you can put them in whenever. Yeah.
So I was like, so some people out there have given me hope that, I mean, like, even Jeannie Mai, Jeezy's woman or whatever.
Another squiggly line.
Another squiggly line. Yeah, another squiggly line. You know, she had a baby in her early 40s. Ashanti, pregnant right now.
Ashanti's pregnant?
Or rumored to be pregnant. With Nelly's baby. Girl, you didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Where you been?
Girl,
where you been?
I've been working.
She been wearing all those oversized, cute, sparkly little Jersey moo things.
They have been cute. Oh, I love that for them.
Me too. And I didn't realize that he had no children either.
Nelly has kids. He has adult kids.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he has adult kids.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's what it was. All right. So definitely her first.
Yes, her first.
Her first. So so that was like some of the, it's alleged, it's rumored, but you know, she has been gaining weight and stuff like, and wearing things to like hide and wearing things to hide her. Anyway, the point is that, like, there are women out there, you know, not even just those that are celebrities, but those that I know, you know, in real life, and they're having babies later in life. So
it's definitely possible. Like you said, like, women are having kids later in life. Just because you turn 40 doesn't mean like your eggs are no longer sunny side up. They're not scrambled hard. They just might be a little over easy.
And, you know, and luckily I've been checked out, and the doctor says I'm still producing more than enough eggs. So I'm happy about that. You know, I just feels like it, and I've been trying to change my mindset around it, but feeling like that window, like, time is against me. I mean, just saying, like, feeling like time is against you can be something that can be difficult. And also having to embrace that, like, hey, life can still be beautiful. You can still have a beautiful family, beautiful network, beautiful everything, if children is not in the cards for you.
Yeah.
And just embracing that.
Yeah. So for me, my husband and I have made the decision now, he's 43, I'm 42. We've decided that we aren't going to have kids. Like, if we got married 5 years ago, probably would definitely have popped out, you know, a little mini me. Like, my family, I always say our genes are very strong. My mom looks just like her mom. I look just like my mom.
Just like her.
Yeah. So I was always curious, like you said, of what my child would look like when we pass those genes down. But at this stage of our lives, we've made the conscious decision that, we enjoy our lives as we are now, and making that huge life change is just not where we are. If this was 5 years ago, absolutely. At 43 and 42, maybe not so much. The thing that I'm most concerned about making that decision, the thing that really made me lose sleep was, who gonna take care of me when I get old? You know what I mean? So I watched when my grandparents got sick. And eventually passed away. I watched how my mom and my uncle, like, really took care of them, and like taking them to doctor's appointments and making sure that they, you know, they moved in with them, and, you know what I mean, making sure that everybody was taken care of and was surrounded by love and family. And so it's like, okay, we don't have kids. gonna wipe my butt? You know what I mean? Who gonna like, you know, come visit me and you know, take care of me and check in on me? So that is my biggest fear about not having kids. Now, granted, we do have godchildren, we have nieces and nephews, but they'll have their own parents, and you know, that's a possibility that they might not be around. I mean, I'm putting in the work now to like, hey, don't forget about me. Don't forget about me. You want to go shopping?
Yeah.
Let's go shopping. You know what I mean? So, you know, you want to take me to a good nursing home, you know, but so that is my biggest fear of that legacy. You know, I do believe that I have a legacy through my studio and my students. I absolutely believe that I've touched the lives of the next generation and the generation after that, because I'm now teaching my students children. So I do believe that I have legacy in that sense, but the personal, like, familial legacy is the only thing that is really like, I didn't have kids.
I feel that way too. I definitely feel that. You did a good job of expressing something that has like crossed my mind, even though I haven't thought about it that deeply. Like, like who is gonna? I thought about legacy, but like, who is gonna take care of me?
Who gonna wipe your butt?
Right. I mean, I'm gonna probably have to move to an island and hire somebody.
But you got to be careful. They be trying to take your money.
That's true.
You got to find, you know, the good. Are they really going to just leave you there with bed sores? Like, I need somebody that's going to like come and check in, even if I'm at a nursing home. You know, when my grandfather ended up having to go to a home, he had dementia, and so we couldn't take care of him any longer in the house. We took care of my grandmom, but we couldn't take care of my granddad, so we had to put him at home. But we were able to go and check. Well, my uncles and my mom were able to go and check, like, you know, hey, where's his clothes? Or, hey, did you change this? Like, you know, just to make sure that he's in a good home, but they need to still have some family around and check in on them.
I'm not gonna lie, like, I was like, when you got with Alex, I definitely thought like, oh, they would have cute kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, they would have cute kids. Like, that definitely came. I mean, I respect the decision. Obviously, I do, or something like that. But I was like, oh, they'd be cute, though.
Yeah. They'd be cute. They'd be artistic. And,
they would. They'd be so talented, so ambitious. I was like, oh, I definitely thought that. I was like, oh, that's really cute. So, I mean, but to each his own, who knows, you know? Also, I think another thing is, are you guys open to adoption? Because I'm open to adoption.
Yeah, we've talked about it. Like, I think that we definitely are open to adoption. I think that we wanted to make sure that our marriage, you know, we got through a couple years, you know, enjoyed each other, able to travel, like make sure that we kind of enjoyed this time and of this new chapter before we did that. Whether we were having our own kids or adopting a kid, we would want to have done that. But yeah, adoption is absolutely a possibility. I have friends that have adopted, you know, and they're looking to maybe adopt their second one. I have other friends that have adopted. Some of my students have been adopted. And so that's not a question. I would love to. I mean, there's so many kids that need that love.
That's what I was thinking.
You know, as my eggs are, like I said, no longer sunny side up. If that was something that I wanted to do or felt that longing to do, without the pressure of, you know, the biological clock, adoption would be great.
I think adoption would be great for all the reasons that you mentioned. There's so many beautiful kids out there who are just looking for a good home, and like, why not? You know what I mean? Like, why not? So I think it'd be amazing. I do have concerns of like, I would want to adopt someone who is like younger. Which is what everyone wants, right? Everyone wants like to adopt a baby or someone really small so they can like see them grow and stuff like that. That'd be like something that I would want. I would also want like a child who's black, you know what I'm saying? So they can at least appear to look like me or be from me or something like that. I'm not gonna lie, it's maybe selfish, but it's true. Those are things that I want.
Someone that can relate to your culture. You can bring them up in the culture that you are.
Right. That is very, very true.
I mean, because there's so many other, you know, races that adopt black children, or, you know, people that adopt other races. You know, I've seen black families adopt white kids and vice versa.
I've thought about that, like adopting someone who's like not black.
Yeah, but it's so key to make sure that you are still exposing them to their culture. I think that Angelina Jolie does an amazing job of that. When you look at her daughter, that's, you know, just
she didn't know how to do the electric slide, but she tried.
She went down to Spelman and, you know, tried to do the electric slide. You know, bless her heart. But she was able to make sure that her child was exposed to that, and her child just, you know, I think a few months ago pledged Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority.
Yeah, I saw that. So
you know,
cute.
and you know, she's in touch with a culture that Angelina Jolie was not a part of, but she made sure that the child was, you know, exposed to it. So I appreciate her for that. But there's so many times when that doesn't happen. So that's the only key.
there's another thing that I have to say that I don't know if I ever told you, but like, I'm also scared about being an old mom.
Oh, that's real. So,
at this point now, I'm like, fuck, man, I'm gonna be an old mom. I'm already tired.
Yeah,
so and now I put a baby on top of it. I'm gonna be exhausted.
Yeah, I might regret what I'm about to say, but I'm gonna say it anyway. So I teach at a dance studio. I teach at my dance studio, and so I have kids with moms of all ages. Some of them had their kids very young. Some of them had their kids very old. I don't want to say very old, but older or later in life. And this is not the key for all older moms. Like, I'm not saying that all older moms are like this, but there have been some older moms at the dance studio. Oh, I probably am talking too much. But there have been some older moms at the dance studio that can be... So as an older mom, we are aware.
If you don't spit it out,
okay. As an older mom, we are aware of life. We are aware. We are a little bit more cautious and concerned. We are like, we know what's out there. I'm going to try to like protect them. I find that sometimes the older moms can be a little bit more hands-on than necessary. They can be a little bit more concerned. You know how you get older, you get scared to ride roller coasters because like,
cautious.
Yeah,
you're just more aware of your mortality.
Yeah, I'm not about to jump out the plane, but they kind of pass that on to the kids now. So the older moms are a little bit more hands-on, a little bit more like frantic about things.
Tiger mom, like helicopter mom.
They're a little bit more like, the kids are a little bit more dependent. You know what I mean? Because the moms are, you know, a little bit more involved in doing everything for them. And again, this is not always the case. So if you're older mom at Dance Dimensions, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking about you. But there have been some cases where I've seen the older moms be more likely to be more hands-on because they're just aware of life and its challenges. And
and it's also really like, do you know how long, like, I've been waiting for this moment.
Exactly.
Like, I'm gonna have this kid.
Exactly.
I could see that. I think I was worried, like, man, like, am I gonna have the energy to run around with this little baby?
That too.
Like, shoot, I'm tired. So I think that was like my fear around having a child now, is that like, I'm gonna be exhausted. I know I'm gonna be exhausted, and so that lifestyle change that you mentioned, but also like the level of energy that requires.
And midnight feedings. I mean, you and I both like to sleep in. We are not morning people. So those midnight feedings. So I'm going to toot my own horn a little bit. I was a good child. My mom used to have to wake me up in the middle of the night to feed me. I was the same way
like that. I was too.
Yeah.
My mom was like, Sabrina, you used to put yourself to bed.
Yeah, put yourself to bed. Don't you, like, I'm not waking her up. Like, oh, wait. My mom would have to wake up and like, oh, she probably needs to eat. So, like, she would wake me up to feed me. Oh. You know, so I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to have that good of a of a experience. So my mom had it easy. She was a young mom, but, you know, I don't know. Like, I don't think that I am built for those midnight feedings.
That's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna have to pump, and then Walter gonna have to go with the bottle and.
So that's my next question for you.
Take care of it.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So we've already established that you're in your late 30s.
Yeah.
And you're engaged.
See,
mommy. So so you are engaged. Where do you guys stand? Where do you and Walter stand as far as kids in your future?
We absolutely want children, and we want as many children as God will allow us to have. So that's where we're at. I think that. Obviously, you know, we're not spring chickens, so it's something that we're like, you know, conscious of, and we want to make sure that we're doing everything to, like I said, I got checked, he got checked, we're both okay. So we've taken the steps to make sure that there are no like glaring obstacles to us like being able to have children. So because it is a priority for the both of us, I think that I would like to get married, you know what I'm saying, before I'm like having a baby, but at the same time, if it doesn't happen. So I don't know, the other day, like he said something like oh, we can get married and our kids can, like, you know, be the flower girl.
Wait a minute.
And I was like, so we ain't getting married for how long?
Wait, I was just saying, they're gonna be old enough to be the flower
right now. So
so he said, and then the kids can be the flower.
Yeah,
girl, but how long are we waiting?
I was like, so this is like kids start walking at what, like 2, 3, like, and how can they follow direction? It was 5 years.
Right? Are y'all waiting that long before you get married?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So no, I think we're gonna aim to get married like in the next like maybe like year to 18 months. Okay, is what we're aiming for. Not in a rush, but definitely don't want it to be too far off. Yeah, you don't. My mom told me she had a dream that I was pregnant at my wedding, and I was like, "Oh Lord!" So I was like, "Oh Lord!" So if I want it to happen, if it happened tomorrow, I'd be happy. I'm not gonna ever like, you know, claim otherwise. Like, it'd be a blessing for me. I will say though, I did want to circle back to something that you said about old mothers versus young mothers, and let me be clear. I don't want to say that. Let me say people who have children earlier in life versus people who have children later in life.
Exactly.
What's so interesting to me is the newfound childless freedom of my friends who had children earlier in life.
Yes.
So now they have grown children who have left the nest. They are either, moved out in college, whatever. And so now I have friends, like I'm that age now where I have empty nester friends, right?
Same.
You know what I mean? So and these women want to be in them streets.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They're like, let's go, Sabrina, let's go. We can do this, we can do that. We can go to this concert, we can go to this bar, we can do this happy hour, we can do this trip, we can do this. And I'm like, girl, you got a lot of energy.
Right. She's trying to make up for lost time.
Exactly. I was like, you got a lot of energy, girl. I've been in these streets.
I have done this.
I've been doing this. While you've been at home being a mommy, I've been in these streets.
Exactly.
There ain't nothing out here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. We are at an age where we have friends that are empty nesters and we have friends with newborns.
Yeah.
Like that's an interesting phase, you know, and it's like, okay, like we have to navigate those friendships in those different stages.
And it has been difficult at times to maintain relationships with some of my friends who have young children just because their lifestyle is just so, like you said, they're on a schedule. Yeah. Right? Like baby has to be put down by 7.
Dinner, get a babysitter.
You know what I'm saying? Like dinner plans usually start at 7. You know, things like that. You know, so
at the early end.
Yeah, exactly. At the early end. So just like the different lifestyle, it has been hard maintaining friendships, but I do believe like good friendships are the ones where like even if time passed, you pick it up like you never like nothing's ever changed. And so I do like that aspect of it. The friends that are back into the like are now more free. It's like, girl, you going a little faster. That's a different lane. Your lane is the fast lane right now. Right. I'm in this like middle to slow lane. I'm in
lane 2 and 3.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like you in the fast lane right now. I'm gonna let you do that, but when you ready to slow down and maybe just come and chill at the house or chill for a happy hour, we can kick it.
Right, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Exactly.
There's advantages. And I do love those friends because those are the friends who are like, I've heard about this, I've heard about that. Like they are out there.
Yeah, no. So let me go back to, we talked about like you and Walter both getting checked out and figure out, you know, what your follicle count and all that other great stuff and counts and everything. So what are your thoughts on IVF? And you know, there was recently this ruling in Alabama where they're restricting IVF treatments. You can only do one at a time. And you know, is that something that you've considered? And you know, where do you stand on that?
I feel like I'm in support of IVF. I think that, you know, that's what technology and science is for, right? To help us overcome challenges like that. And so, and I know couples who have, you know, done rounds of IVF and finally find success, you know what I mean? Actually, Walter and I have a couple friends who actually recently found out that they're pregnant, and the egg, there was like one viable egg left, and it wasn't like, apparently eggs are graded, like the type of, like how good the egg is. I mean, I'm learning this as like I start to like do more research, and the grade of the egg wasn't even that great, but they were able to like, she was able to get pregnant, and now they're going to have a son. So anyway, so I feel like there's a lot of success behind IVF, and so I feel like I'm in support of it. That's something we are open to. That process is actually a lot more complicated than I initially thought it was. It's a lot, and I think that from my understanding, Walter and I talked about it, it's something that we are willing to cross that bridge once
if necessary.
If necessary. We are still trying the old fashioned way. I don't know how to say I don't know what the right way to say that is.
This is practicing.
We are practicing, and we practice a lot.
And we talked about this. You practice. You don't let 2 days go by before you practice.
We practice a lot. So it's like so we're still practicing. We're still open to conceiving the natural way. I think there's also some like spiritual pieces of this too that we just want to be aligned on as well. So we're willing to cross that bridge when we get there. There's also another one called like IVI, which is like a step before IVF. Yeah. That was something else we were thinking about trying. This is like a baby step. So we're not going to like jump into IVF. It's also $20,000 a pop.
Oh yeah, it's expensive.
You know what I'm saying? It's expensive. So I think it's another reason.
Prohibitive.
Like, and that's no guarantee that it will work. You know what I mean? So when you hear about these couples going rounds and rounds of IVF, like they are dropping serious cash on that. And I would do it, right? Because I drop cash on everything else, right? It is just money, and I think it's worth it. But I think I was like, we want to exhaust other options first before we take it there. But I did tell them, I was like, you know, you ain't getting no younger. I ain't getting no younger. Like, there's gonna have to be a time when we just say, all right, let's call a spade, and we're gonna go that right. But we're not there yet.
Yeah, I think like after you, like you said, have tried for a span of whatever that time frame is for you, whether it's a year, whether it's 18 months.
To be honest with you, I wasn't even tracking my ovulation. Mm-hmm. I wasn't doing any of that.
Yeah, you got to get that basal body temperature, all that
things
like
that. Yeah. Waking up in the morning, taking your temperature before you start your day, these things are things that like I'm just now learning about, because I was just kind of like, it'll happen when it's happening, and I'm like, okay, so maybe you should be a little bit more intentional.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to
all those trackers. There's apps for that. Like I have several friends that have gone through IVF. I have one couple, they got married years and years and years ago, and people were always asking, when you gonna have kids?
I hate when people ask that.
Please don't ask that question.
Yeah.
Because you never know the struggle that these couples are going through. Actually, I'm thinking of two couples at one time. So each of them were on one of the couples, they had been going through IVF for years. She had several miscarriages, several times where it didn't take. Again, they were on their very last egg, and she is my age, 42, and just had her first child. That's I think she maybe 6 months years old. 6 months now. And then I have another couple that went through rounds and rounds and rounds of IVF, and none of them took. I know
a couple like that too.
Yeah, but she was able to end up conceiving with one, and they have an amazing son. I think he's I think he might be 5 now. That's awesome. But then I have a couple that have tried and it didn't
I have
work.
I have that friend who were like, they tried several rounds of IVF, it just didn't work.
Yeah. And so I have also, I'm giving all my friends tea.
And now exploring the adoption route, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm giving all my friends tea, because clearly I have several that have gone this route. But then I have another girlfriend that we know that is gone through this, and I actually helped her participate through her process, and she has an amazing daughter. She's no longer with the guy, but she's raised an amazing little girl that is, I think she's 7 now. And but she's one of those success stories that went through these things. She had her tubes. She was pregnant in her tubes in her 20s, and had to have both tubes removed. So the only way she could conceive was through IVF. And so I was hoping, I was giving her the shots. I keep telling her I'm her god baby daddy. Like I'm giving her shots and everything. And
not a god baby daddy.
Yeah, I'm her god baby daddy.
By injection.
Yes. So and it worked for her. So I know several couples and singles that have had this process, and it'd be helpful for them. They wouldn't conceive otherwise. And so that's why it's so disheartening when I see stuff in the news, like in Alabama, where they're putting all these restrictions on IVF. It's already expensive as a mug, you know what I mean? Yeah. So if they can only do one at a time and then have to restart, like, you're making an already cost prohibitive event or procedure even more cost prohibitive. And the mental drain, not only of the financial drain, but the mental of that, of having to start over, and physically. Yes.
Yeah, you're gaining weight. They're taking
all the hormones out. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Get it all out at once.
Yeah.
So that's very unfortunate. And I'm praying that doesn't continue or progress across the country.
It's really interesting, because you have heard stories of like couples, starting the IVF process together, creating embryos and things like that, and then they separate.
Oh,
I mean, Sofia Vergara and her former, I think, fiance or husband.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember his name.
I remember he was out of Florida. I think he was a politician in Florida. But anyway, they had embryos that they had developed when they were together. They broke up. She has remarried and I think separated since then. But he didn't want to terminate the embryos, because he was like, "Those are my kids too." And she's like, "But we made these kids together, and we're no longer here." And you know what I'm saying? Like, so it was like, so I do know that like the embryo piece gets complicated,
because sometimes the woman wants to use those embryos, and the dad is like, I ain't with you no more.
Exactly. So you know what I'm saying? So I do know it kind of gets a little bit crazy, because it's almost like, it's like unborn children. You know what I mean? It's like, like, are you just going to let go of your unborn children? It's kind of a hard thing to also like...
Oh, but we're getting into that controversy of Alabama. It's like, are they children? Are they unborn children?
Exactly.
What are they just embryos? Are you calling them children? Are you calling them embryos?
I think the issue that I have with a lot of like politics around this around reproductive rights or just like things of that nature is that it's so skewed towards restricting how people become pregnant or how they manage their pregnancies, just to say that way. But on the flip side, there's no real public subsidy to support people being mothers or to be good parents. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is my issue with things like that. You're so focused on regulating how people get pregnant and keeping their pregnancies and doing things like that. But then if they are parents, you don't have a system in place to help them be successful. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, with the wages and the way things are and the house and, like, how do you expect these people to be, like, it's almost like they're grooming they're trying to develop, like, a impoverished cast of people. That's what it feels like. You know what I mean?
I hate the term pro-life because they aren't really pro-life.
Yeah, I don't. That's why I was, like, dancing around the I don't want to say that.
It's not really pro-life. It's pro-birth.
Yeah.
Because if they were really pro-life, there will be programs for, you know, subsidizing this and that.
Did you know, like, in Korea, the Korean government gives you a nanny for 6 months?
Yes.
They just give it to you. You don't, you know, I think that you have to, like, there's a copay. You have to copay for your nanny. It's like $20 a month or something like that. It's really cheap. But, like,
because you need that.
Yes.
And so to force someone to birth a child and not, you know, help them in the life, because they might be really realistic. Like, you know what? I know that I am not in a place to be able to afford a child, or this could be very harmful to my mental state, or, you know, this could be harmful for the child. You know, I'm not in a place that's safe for them. But because we're pro-birth, and like, no, you have to have this child. You have to make this embryo that you did through IVF, you know, conceive, whether it's going to be a viable pregnancy or not. You have to, you know, fertilize. It's so pro-birth and not pro-life. Like, what are you doing? And that's what makes me
feel like they're just trying to groom, like, this class of, like, servants and slaves. Like, and people who are, like, indebted, like, indentured servitude. Like, they can't get out of, like, being behind, you know what I mean? And I think that that's the reason why, like, you can have those kids because that's going to make you have to work for me longer. Work for me harder. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's just, it's unfortunate. Sorry, we went down that rabbit hole, but that's when I think about the whole IVF situation. I do think it's, like, about pro-birth. I don't think it's about pro-life in that sense. And it's really sad that there are still places in this country that are debating that.
I can tell you a lot of states I would never move to. And the people that live there, more power to you. I'm praying for you.
I know people who live there. I know y'all trying to change the dynamic or whatever. And,
Alabama,
you know,
Florida.
you fight that good fight, because I ain't doing it. Like, I ain't doing it. I ain't moving there.
Even Texas, like Texas, Alabama, Florida. Like, I mean, I have friends in all of those states, and I love them. But I know that for me and what I believe in and what's important to me, I couldn't.
I know, and that's the reason why it's so hard even visiting. She's like, I'm not trying to even give you my tax dollars.
Yeah. I haven't been in Miami in probably like 15 years. Wow. I haven't been
I know, at that point you might as well just go to Jamaica.
That part, come on, sis. Mo Bay, I'm coming to see you soon. I'll be back there.
Go to Jamaica, we gonna go there. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
All right, are we ready for game time?
I think so. This was a heavy one.
I know. I didn't expect it to be.
I think we need to lighten the mood a little bit.
Sip.
Okay. Ooh, I need a refill. Okay, so we have our wine glass. We're in the Sellar, so you know everything is wine related. So we have different topics on these different Post-its, and in 30 seconds, whatever the topic is, you have to see how many of that topic that you can name.
Yes, all right? Absolutely.
You got the timer going?
I'm setting it right now, 30 seconds. You can go first. Okay.
I'm nervous.
Okay, as soon as you read it, I'm going to press it. Read it aloud. What is it?
Black male actors.
Okay, and go.
Denzel Washington, Michael Ealy, Common, what's his name? Damus and Idris, Mike Epps, Lorenz Tate, Lamont Rucker, Darren Henson. Oh, I'm taking it back. Did I say Michael Ealy? Okay. Let's see.
Come on,
Tyson. What's the dude's name? What's Forrest Whitaker? Okay. Tyson Beck. Shoot, that's quick. How many did I get?
You got 9. You got 9. That's pretty good. Okay. That's pretty good. I know, girls, like, there's only so many black male actors.
I'm trying to think. Like, who else we got?
I was like, she skipped over Will Smith.
I mean,
Denzel Washington.
I said Denzel.
You said Denzel. Yeah. I was like, who else? I was surprised. You said some. What was that? someone at the end, Rucker, what'd you say?
Lamont Rucker, that's Embalia's brother.
Yeah, okay.
That's my brother.
I was like, oh, she really took it about.
I mean, Lamont Rucker, the sheriff from Why Did I Get Married? That's my brother. Love me some Lamont Rucker. Like, yeah.
He's nice. I remember he went to Embalia's party. Yes. He was so sweet. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was really nice. Okay, so do you want to take my phone? And
yes. Okay.
All right, here we go. All
right, you ready? Go pick your topic. Go ahead.
Take the green one because I love green.
That's your color.
That's my color. Okay, here we go.
What is it?
Ooh, Black reality TV show.
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay.
You
ready?
Yes.
And go.
Obviously, Housewives of Atlanta. I would consider that a black one. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Married to Medicine.
Okay.
Right. Ready to Love.
The one we were on.
Ready to Love. Sorry. Okay. Oh my God. I Love New York.
Okay. Oh, wow. Look at that.
I Love New York is good. Chance of Love, wasn't it? The Chance.
Oh yeah, that was Chance. Okay.
What's another black one that's out? Black reality TV out there.
Time. You got 5.
5.
You got 5. Okay.
What's some ones I missed though?
Did you? I mean, you did Flavor of Love. Did you? You said. Did you say that one?
I said.
I Love New York, but did you go Flavor of Love?
No, I didn't do. I was trying to remember that guy's name.
Yeah.
Flavor of Love. And what's another one?
The Queen's Court, the one.
I don't watch that one. Okay.
Yeah. Make a Move.
Make a Move. Make a Move was one.
Yeah. What other black one? Reality show.
I guess Basketball Wives could have been.
Basketball Wives. You could say Love and Marriage. I mean, Love and Marriage.
I did say.
Did you say that?
Did I say that?
I don't know, girl. Or even like Basketball Wives or Real Housewives of Potomac in Atlanta.
Yeah, I said Atlanta.
Okay.
I said Potomac. So I was trying not to get too specific. Anyway, okay.
All right. Your turn.
Okay.
All right. I'm nervous, because.
All right.
I want to go for the pink.
There's 2 kind of pinky ones in there. Don't be trying to look through. Don't be trying to read what it is.
I'm trying to read. I'm cheating. Okay.
Close your eyes.
I'm nervous.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Countries in Africa.
Here we go. We're going to have a geography
class. Oh, shoot. Let me go back. Oh, wait.
Go.
Oh, shoot. Okay. South Africa, Benin, Togo, Ethiopia, Eritrea, Egypt, Somalia, Sudan, Zambia, Mauritius, Rwanda, Botswana, Tanzania, Senegal, Ghana, Niger, Algeria, Congo, did I say Zambia, Liberia, Libya,
Time.
Woo.
You got 22.
Okay.
You go, girl. You go.
I was a geography buff in 6th grade.
That's why I was like, you're like, oh my God. I was like, you were ready for that one.
I love the geography in 6th grade.
All right, here we go.
Okay, your turn. All right, ready? Go.
I'm just going to grab this one.
Okay. What is it?
Me and Lori Harvey have dated.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
Go.
Okay. Shoot. All right. So, oh God, why can't I think of this man's name anymore? Okay, I'm so sorry. So, Damson Idris, right?
Of course.
Rumored to have dated P. Diddy.
Right.
Future.
Yes.
Did she date Common? No, right? No,
I feel like everybody dated Common.
I don't know if she dated. Trey Songz.
Yes.
That's what I was thinking of. Trey Songz. I don't know. She was dating or engaged to some like pro football player. Football. But I don't remember. I don't know his name.
I don't know his name either.
Black football player.
Yeah.
That one.
Okay, time. You got 5.
5-ish.
Okay. That's good. I mean, you know what? I'm going to say, I know we're off topic, but people give Lori Harvey a harder time than I think she deserves.
Same.
She's in her 20s. How many people did you date when you were in your 20s? And just because she's dating them doesn't mean that she's having sex with them.
I feel bad for her because she's so beautiful, so she's in the spotlight, and like I think that's why she's getting scrutinized. But like, it's the circle she's in.
The circle she's in.
It's the circle she's in.
The people that she meets are just celebrities like she is.
Right.
You know?
You know what I'm saying? And everyone, she's such a baddie that people are like, look, I got her. Like I'm saying,
right.
like they want to.
You named 5 people. Like,
yeah. I think I got everybody.
I
forgot Michael B. Jordan. How could I forget that?
Forget about that one? Yes.
Okay, yeah.
But so I don't think she's doing that bad. If I know when I was in my 20s, we talked about this in a previous episode. I wanted to date and explore and figure out what I like and what I don't like. She's doing what she's supposed to do.
She is.
She's figuring out what works for her, and it just so happens that the people that she's dating are just in the public eye.
I agree.
Okay.
Here we go. Last one.
All right. Let's see what this one. Oh. See what this one is. Okay, fonts.
And go.
Oh, okay. Times New Roman, Arial, Courier, monotype. What is that? Cursiva. The mono something Cursiva.
Okay.
Helvetica.
It's a classic.
Britannica. What is there
a Britannica?
Something.
What's Britannica? I don't think I've ever heard of Britannica before.
What's the one? Shucks, this is hard.
5 seconds.
College. That's the one that does the varsity letter type thing.
Okay. I would say Calibri.
Oh, yes.
Calibri?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's hard.
That was hard. But you did good.
Okay.
You did good. You named the important ones.
Right, the ones that we use.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to be looking. Like, what do I use on the right? It's whatever's default.
Comic Sans.
Oh, that's a good one.
The Comic Sans is the one that I was like, okay. Yeah.
Wingdings or whatever that one. There's nothing that you can read.
Oh, there's a few out there that I'm like, who uses these?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can't.
Girl. All right. Well, this was fun. This was
fun.
heavy and fun. I feel like we had to lighten the mood a little bit because we were talking about a very serious topic that is important to women in our demographic. And I think that most of our viewers are women of particular ages or even men of particular ages. So we appreciate the viewership. And
seasoned women.
Yes. And we hope that you guys can relate to some of the things that we're dealing with. Some of the things that we're talking about, and if you have things that you want to see us talk about, let us know. Put it in the comments. Send us a little DM. Let us know what you want to hear us talk about, and hopefully you continue to keep it cute.
Yeah, absolutely. Please continue to tune in. Next week we'll be here.
Take care, guys. Bye.